Hey everyone, welcome to the Alex Estrada podcast, the podcast where I talk about all the things that I love. Baseball, the show Big Brother, anime, professional wrestling, TV, movies, music, and all the other things that I love. And there's my dad Ed, and my mom Lisa is here with us. And today, on the Alex Estrada podcast, we'll be talking about one of the craziest regular season games ever. May 17th, 1979, Phillies, Cubs, NL Slugfest at Wrigley. One thing about this game, everyone knows that Chicago is known as the Windy City, and in this game, you'll see why. Phillies shortstop Larry Bowa said that it was howling out there. He's also said that during batting practice, he was hitting balls in the seats, and Greg Luzinski was standing right next to him, and Larry said, "This has a chance to be a wild game today." Larry was right. The day before the Phillies had won 13-0, Steve Carlton had a no-hitter going on in the sixth inning. Larry Bowa got tossed for arguing balls and strikes, so it's already kind of a wild series. Now then, here's the starting lineup. Okay, now. Yep, here's the starting lineup for the Phillies. Larry Bowa would eventually become a Cub, but for right now, he's batting second behind Blake McBride, who was one of the fastest guys in baseball at the time. Pete Rose hitting third. Mike Schmidt, who would have 45 home runs that year, is hitting cleanup. Unser, Maddox, Bob Boone, Rudy Maioli is at second base, and Randy Lurch on the mound. Now, Lurch had been complaining prior to this game about the lack of run support. His last two outings, he pitched very well, only to get a no decision and a loss in both games. After that, he said, "It'd be nice if we could score some runs when I'm on the mound." When they score 7 runs in the first, Larry Bowa is going past him and asked, "Hey, Randy, do you think that's enough for you today?" Randy just smirked at him. Here's the Cubs starting lineup. Herman Franks was the Cubs manager in this game, but he didn't finish the season. Joey Amalfitano eventually replaced him. Danny Ozark was the Phillies manager, but he was eventually fired during the season as well and replaced by Dallas Green, who eventually would be in the Cubs front office. Here's the pitching matchup. Lurch was 2-2. Dennis Lamp was 3-0. Here are their ERAs. They're about to go way up real soon. I mean, if you tried to tell someone about this game, they would just be like, "No way in hell that happened." I mean, Larry Bowa said that even if Steve Carlton was on the mound, the Phillies would have had trouble that day. He also said that when the Phillies scored 7 in the first, he knew that wasn't going to be enough, no matter who was pitching. For those of you who haven't seen this game, you're not going to believe what Dave Kingman did in this game. Okay now.
Oh, I can absolutely believe it because I witnessed it.
Okay now, so are we ready to watch one of the craziest games ever?
Yep.
Calling the first few innings and the last few innings will be the late great Jack Brickhouse, while the middle innings will be called by the late great Lou Boudreau.
Jerry Martin. And the right fielder is Mike Vail. At third base, Steve Olivares. The shortstop is Ivan De Jesus. At second, Ted Sizemore. At first, Bill Buckner.
And back in the 70s and stuff, baseball broadcasts used to do like who the players were on defense exactly this way. Now they just put the names up on a graphic.
That's right.
And Billy DeMars coaching. Why have they got Bobby Wine there? That's Billy DeMars coaching at third. First base umpire is Bill Lawson. That's Dennis Riccio out of second. At third is Dave Slickenmeyer. Behind the plate is Dick Cavanaugh.
It'll be a long day for the umpires, too.
Yeah.
Meyer and his players. And a couple of other Hall of Famers, Jimmy Enright, John McLennan involved. John Kennedy.
Here's leading off is Big McBride.
Who else?
He started his career with the Cardinals, and with them, he won the Rookie of the Year in '74, made the All-Star team with them in '76. One of the fastest men in the league during his time, Big McBride is a member of the Phillies Hall of Fame.
Lamp has won 3, lost none so far this year. Last year against the Phillies, he was 0-3. That also constitutes his lifetime against them. Randy Lurch, 2-0 last year against the Cubs, 4-2 lifetime. I remember one opening series here before last, when he lost a real heartbreaker to them. And there's a swing and a miss for underway. Big McBride, 3 for 9 in the series. 216 batting average. 3 homers, 14 runs batted in. Ball 1, strike 1.
So the wind was blowing out, right?
Yes, it was.
There's a shot to left center, that's why.
What was the date of this game?
May 17th.
Lead right into that pitch. Out to left center. That brings up the shortstop Boa.
Coming up here's Larry Boa, who would go on to manage the Phillies, 2-time Gold Glover and 5-time All-Star. On the Phillies' all-time list, he currently ranks 7th in triples, 6th in stolen bases and hits, and 4th in games played, at-bats, and singles. He also led the league in fielding percentage 6 times.
There's a line shot, left center. Look out, fellas. And Kingman tries for it. It won't work. That's going to bring a run in.
Dave Kingman was not the best player in the world, defensive player in the world.
Correct.
And prevented that man from coming in. Boa gets 2 on it, and McBride goes to third. McBride is very possibly the fastest man in the National League.
As a matter of fact, that dive that you saw Dave Kingman do,
Yeah.
he did a similar one in right field as a Met player and broke his thumb. And I believe he'd already had like 40 home runs at that point of this season.
Oh, boy.
McBride holds at third. Men on second and third. Nobody out. Pete Rose.
Okay, now, to finish up, Larry Boa also had over 2,200 career games at shortstop, over 6,800 assists, over 1,200 double plays turned. He hit 280 or better 4 times, and 9 seasons with 20 or more stolen bases. Now, after Pete Rose grounds into a fielder's choice, there's 1 out, men on first and second. Mike Schmidt is coming up. I have to pause to tell you all about Mike Schmidt. Now, Mike Schmidt was a 12-time All-Star, 3-time MVP, 548 home runs, almost 1,600 RBIs, led the league in home runs 8 times, RBIs 4 times, 10-time Gold Glover, 6 times Silver Slugger, led the league in walks 4 times, on-base percentage 3 times, slugging percentage and OPS 5 times, OPS plus 6 times, assists 7 times, double plays turned 6 times, almost 5,200 assists and 580 double plays turned. On the Phillies' all-time list, he currently ranks 7th in OPS, 6th in singles, 4th in slugging percentage, 3rd in doubles, 2nd in at-bats and hits, and the Phillies' all-time leader in games played, runs scored, total bases, home runs, RBIs, walks, runs created, and extra base hits. One of the greatest third basemen in baseball history. Pete Rose once said about Schmidt, "To have his body, I'd trade him mine and my wife's, and I'd throw in some cash."
Now, when Mike Schmidt first came up, he was not considered a very good defensive third baseman, and then eventually kind of grew into the position and became very good defensively. What year did he go into the Hall of Fame?
I think it was 99. I'm not sure which.
Check on your phone and Google.
See what I mean? You could tell that wind drifted it over there. You know, he had a 4-homer game at Wrigley on another occasion.
So we're off and running. 3 of 23.
Mm-hmm. As Jack Brickhouse is going to say, as you'll see the replay, Dave came in when it goes over his head. He thinks he's going to play it off the wall. It was in 95, Mike Schmidt.
When he got into the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Hitting 444, 4 for 9 in this series. And that's strike one. Schmidt claimed yesterday the Russell threw at him, and that woke the ball club up.
Who's up now?
Del Unser.
Oh, Del Unser, who used to be a Met.
Yeah.
Did Larry Bowa end up coaching with the Mets?
I'm not really sure. I'd have to look it up. He might
I
have.
thought he was like a coach.
Yeah, he was a manager and a coach.
Lisa, do you remember if Larry Bowa was ever a Met coach?
No, but he did play for the Mets in 85. That was his last year.
That's a milestone.
No, I don't think he ever coached
19th
or
on the
managed
all-time
for
run
us.
scored list. He just moved ahead of Mickey Mantle for the most runs ever scored by a switch hitter.
Oh, who's here?
All 3 strike one.
Uncle Greg.
Hi, Uncle Greg. You just missed Schmidt's 3-run homer.
Yeah, well,
There'll be more.
yeah, isn't there more?
Dave Keenan never did give up on that home run. As a matter of fact, when it finally sailed over his head, he turned around. And
You've only missed 3 of the 45 runs.
off the wall.
I have a feeling you haven't missed much.
Yeah.
This is Mack. Takes it.
And who's the broadcaster?
Jack Brickhouse. He'll be doing the first few innings and the last few innings. The middle innings will be Lou
He
Boudreaux.
almost sounds like Frank Messer a little bit.
He does, huh?
The old Yankee broadcaster.
Originally as a starting pitcher.
Here's Gary Maddox, one of the best defensive center fielders of his time. 8 straight Gold Gloves. Maddox is a member of the Phillies Hall of Fame.
Saturday. Strike one. Maddox hitting 277, 2 for 9 in the series. 5 homers, 18 runs batted in. That's a ball, 1-1. That's Donnie Moore. Rose has now scored 1,678 runs. There's a drive left field, base hit, right on the hop by Kingman. And Unser moves to second. That brings up the catcher, Bob Boone. And it should bring Mike Rourke out of the dugout pretty soon. There he is.
And who's joined us now?
This is Kyle.
Here comes Rourke.
Kyle?
Hey, cousin Kyle.
Hi, Kyle.
Usually when Rourke
Glad you could
goes
join
out,
us.
it means the pitcher will stay in.
Now, here's Bob Boone, second-generation player, made his name with the Phillies and then the Angels. 7 Gold Gloves, 4-time All-Star. Bob Boone is also a member of the Phillies Hall of Fame.
And the father of?
Brett and Aaron Boone.
Well, here's Boone. 1 for 4 in the series. That's a ball, ball 1. Phillies 3, Cubs nothing in the first. Boone batting 237. on second, Maddox on first. That's it. That's way back there. Back she goes. Wow, another home run. 3 more runs in for the Phillies.
Who hit that? Answer?
Bob Boone.
Oh, Bob Boone.
Overpowering the Cubs in the very first inning. They're now taking a 6-0 lead. With Maoli, the second baseman, up.
Now, in 1979,
Dennis Lamb.
which was the year the Pirates
Second home run.
won the National League pennant, but the Phillies, I think, finished second.
No, I think they finished fourth.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
But the Cubs weren't very good, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
I do remember anytime we had a card with Bob Boone, a baseball card, and we'd be trading cards and stuff, we used to go, Bob Boone! Remember, Glenn? Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. I remember that.
Okay, so Donnie Moore is going to come in and pitch, and after Rudy Maoli strikes out, by the way, I shortened this. Instead of 3.5, it's going to be 2.5 hours. And I watch Donnie Moore come in and strike out Rudy Maoli, but we're going to skip ahead to Randy Lurch, who's actually a pretty good hitting pitcher.
1-2 lost one. 4-2 lifetime against the Cubs. Phillies 6, Cubs nothing at this point. Foul ball. Ball 1, strike 1. One and one. Foul ball, out play to the left, 1 and 2.
Already had 3 and 4 different people on Facebook Live doing this.
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
1 and 2. She reads 2 and 2 now on the pitcher Randy Lurch, and with his
How many outs do we know?
the Phillies will battle
2.
down in the inning.
What's up?
Hang on.
Fly ball, left center, that's pretty well hit. Wow, come on.
Come on!
Jack Brickhouse is like, come on. This is a joke, he's saying.
Yeah.
Right in among the bleacher bones there in left center field. Oh boy, that makes it 7-0 as Randy Lurch crosses the plate. You may remember Randy, he clinched the division title in late September for the Phillies last season against Pittsburgh, and he got 2 home runs as well.
Uncle Greg was just commenting, you know, how the crowd is chanting, "We want an out."
For the second time in the inning. There it is. Phillies 7, Cubs nothing.
And the starter's still in there, right? Or did
No, they took him out.
Who was the starter?
Dennis Lamp.
And who's in now?
Donnie Moore.
Oh, wow. Is that the Donnie Moore from 19? Wow. Did you mention what would happen with Donnie Moore later?
Oh, trust me, there will be a podcast about that game.
No, but you want to tell people that's the Donnie Moore from what?
That's the Donnie Moore from Game 5 of the 86 ALCS between the Red Sox and the Angels.
And he later, unfortunately, passed away.
He took his own life.
There's a bat handle pop-up, should be caught. Oliveris is there. He's got it.
Steve Oliveris. Remember that name, Greg? Steve Oliveris for the Cubs?
7 hits, 3 of them homers. No errors, nobody left. Let's go to the Cubs' first score. Phillies 7, Cubs nothing.
How about you, Mom? Do you remember Steve Oliveris?
So, Dell Unser's in left field now for the Phillies.
I was thinking once I heard that name, but no, I don't.
Yeah. I remember him.
There's Mike Schmidt at third. Larry Bow at short.
We've come so far with baseball graphics.
Yeah.
And Pete Rose is the first. Randy Lurch, the pitcher. Bob Boone, the catcher. A couple of hard hitters in that battery. There's Cookie Rojas coaching at first. Joey Malpatano over at third. And DeJesus leads off. Phillies 7, Cubs nothing. Wow. Ron DeJesus, who in the 7th inning yesterday broke up Carlton's no-hitter. 4 for 9 in the series, 222 batting average, couple of homers, 8 RBIs.
Ron DeJesus, jeez.
You know, he was once a Philly.
Cleveland 3, Toronto 2. Cleveland at bat in the third.
The Blue Jays were only 3 years old then.
That's right. That was just their 3rd season of existence.
Foul ball. 1 and 2. Foul ball. Ball 1, strike 2. That's a little low. Two and 2. There's a base hit for the Hazers. So he's on. That brings up Mike Vail, a right fielder.
Mike Vail, who started with,
The Mets?
Trying for their 24th win.
and for the longest time he had the longest
Already the winningest team in the National
consecutive
League.
hitting streak by a
Nobody
rookie.
else has that many.
I think his rookie
Over
season,
the American League, Baltimore
he
has 23.
batted, he had 23 straight game hitting streak.
Mike Vail, 353, 0 for 3 yesterday. Couple of homers, 5 RBIs. Left-handed pitching, so Vail instead of Mercer playing right field.
Yeah, but if I recall, Mike Vail was on probably the worst near-fence teams ever
Yeah.
in the 80s.
Yeah. No, in the mid 70s, right after.
Mid-70s.
Seaver
that's
left.
right. Yeah,
End of
all right.
5, it's still
Yeah, but as a rookie, he had
Days.
he had a 23 game hitting streak.
There's a base hit. And the Hazers hold at second. So Vail slices one, played on the hop.
Does Kingman come up next, I think?
No, next is Bill Buckner, then Kingman.
Billy Buckner. Boy, so far from 1986, we've seen Donnie Moore of the Angels, and now Bill Buckner.
Ready for this? J.B. Rosello has homers for Cleveland in the second with 1 on. So Cleveland lead 3-2. Time you turn around, next Cubs hitting a ball. No pitch. Bill Buckner, 246 hitter at bat. That's ball 1. That's the ball. 2-0. Ball 2, no strikes. First baseman, Pete Rose into the mound, had a little visible flick.
Other than the wind, it's a beautiful day.
I know.
I asked Pete today if those first base fans are giving it to him. He said, no, not really. No. Ball 2, no strikes. Strike.
Rose was the leadoff hitter for the Phillies?
Not in this game.
Who's the right field? Is that Bake?
Bake McBride.
Who was the center fielder?
Gary Maddox.
That makes the score now 7-1. And Dave Kingman is up. 2 men on and nobody out.
I think we know what's going to probably happen here.
Yeah.
WGN Television 9 Chicago. Here's Mr. Kingman. And he takes ball 1. He's hitting 279. 9 home runs.
279 was actually a pretty good average for him.
Mm-hmm.
Because he usually was around 229, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 7-1 Phillies. That's it.
Not anymore. On to Waveland Avenue. We're in the first inning.
Yeah.
What did Uncle Greg put in the chat?
Look. Did Kingman go 0 for 4 with 4 Ks in this game? Guess not. Look at the guy on the roof. Okay, now, so after Steve Olivares grounds out, Jerry Martin is the batter. Jerry Martin used to be a Philly, too.
That'll bring up the center fielder, Jerry Martin. The most home runs by both clubs in an inning is 5, and done by several clubs. Matter of fact, the
Say
last
hi
time
to
it happened in the National League,
Mr. Gleason.
Cincinnati against the Cubs.
Fortunately, he's not going to stay on Facebook Live too much. He's a little sick. So.
I understand.
When the Cubs got 2. Ball 2-0. Jerry Martin, 276 hitter.
By the way, that home run was probably the shortest one Kingman hit.
In this game?
Yes.
I remember Barry Foote.
Really put the first game out of reach.
He was the catcher, right?
He was the catcher, yeah. pitchers out there that are watching this, when you're taken out of a game, be professional and just hand over the ball. Don't flip it like that. So Doug Bird is now in the game. I usually watch the next batter, but after Barry Foote flies out, Ted Sizemore is the batter. Oops. Hang on. I apologize. Gonna go back to where you can actually see it.
So there's 6 away from the modern record. There's a drive, left field, and that's going to bring in a run. Here comes Jerry Martin as Ted Sizemore laces a good shot to left center field. Martin scoring from second. That makes the score now Philadelphia 7, the Chicago Cubs 5. Sizemore on first base, and Donnie Moore is due up. There it is. As Sizemore bats in his 9th run of the year. Welcome home, Jerry.
Like Randy Lurch, Donnie Moore was also a pretty good hitting pitcher.
It would be funny if Donnie poked one over that wall. Well, their pitcher did. There's a drive, right center field. That's going to be all the way to the center field wall out there. And what's hit Sizemore score on this one is Donnie Moore. Decides to go for third. His ball is low. He is.
Oh, we hit him.
The ball is against the dugout fence. And had it gone into that dugout and almost hit it, didn't miss the entrance very far, he would have been across
Adam,
the plate.
Michael, and Patty.
Hi, Michael and Patty.
Moore has just tripled one in. And the score of this ball game now is Philadelphia 7, the Chicago Cubs 6, and the tying run is on third base, and DeJesus is up. Wow, one pitch of this inning gets a homer, the other gets a triple. Ooh, boy.
13 runs in the first inning so far.
That's right.
So, DeJesus the batter. Donnie Moore on third. He really was tearing for third base, and he rounded second there. Wouldn't that have been something if that ball had drawn on into the dugout? And you see, they've got a small fence there with this new dugout. Protect them as they sit there. That's a strike. But there, of course, is a little stairway in the center of it. That's a strike. 1-1. Make that a 1-2. Up, there's a high fly to right. And McBride breaks for this one. He's got it. Hey, that's going to get in trouble. And so that ends the inning. But in the inning, both ball clubs hit 10 men to the plate. And the Cubs had 6 runs on 7 hits, no errors, and a man left. And at the end of one inning, Philadelphia 7, the Chicago Cubs 6.
Okay, so even though I watched the bottom of the second, astonishingly, neither team scores in the second. So we move ahead to the top of the third with Gary Maddox leading off. Here we are.
Gary Maddox will lead off as Philadelphia comes to bat in the third. He'll be followed by Boone and then Mioli. Toronto's tied it up as 3-3. Toronto and Cleveland. Fly ball, short right center, dropping kind of fast. It is hitting out at Mike Dale's glove. He tries to
Catch
sit down
that,
catch
Mike.
out there, and Maddox winds up on second. That's a base hit. Too bad. Went for a low pitch, popped it up. Got himself a base hit. That brings up the catcher, Boone. Who belted one out of here the last time up.
Nobody out, right?
That's correct.
Leading off. Kingman.
And here's the runner, racing for the plate. He is safe. Bob Boone takes the second on it. And they're going to charge an error on Kingman on that one on the throw.
Of course they are. It's Dave Kingman. He really should have been in the American League as a DH.
Yeah, he was.
When did they start? What year did they start the DH?
In the American League? I believe it was 73. I'd have to check.
Millie was called out on strikes. He was the first man, more face, when Donnie came on in the first inning. Each team with 9 hits now.
Yep, 73.
Fastball is low. 1-1. Ball 1, strike 1. Fly ball. Center fielder Martin goes back for this one. The man
So
on second
really-
backs up. He's going to go for third. And the throw is...
Oh, he's out. Ooh. So really the issue is left field.
Pretty much.
Because right field doesn't look like the ball's carrying it right or center.
Boone takes
Well,
third.
you'll see something interesting happen, you know, in right field over first base with the wind.
Is he safe or out? Who's safe?
Safe at third.
Mm-hmm.
1 out. Bird is 0 for 2 as a batter this year. 1 out. Foul ball. Strike 1. Infield pulled in. Low and away. Ball 1, strike 1. Ball 2, strike 1. Well, we have the pride of Auburn University up in the booth today, John Benko. From the Chicago Bulls. We can have a word with John a little later. 2-1. Foul ball. Ball 2, strike 2. There's the Cup Brain Trust. Peanut, Herman, and Mike. 3-2. Ball 3, strike 2. That's a ball. Oh man, he walked the pitcher. Come on, Donnie.
Yeah, come on, Donnie.
That was your out. Now, of course, the infield still has to play in.
Not the pitcher?
Yeah, it was the pitcher.
That big
Jeez.
ride is up.
No wonder he was getting upset.
Hey, Mom, Uncle Greg, you two alive?
Like Watby used to say, you walk up and hand him the ball. Tell him to do what he wants to with it.
You might have lost your mom.
Don't walk.
I'm here.
All right.
Okay.
Uncle Greg probably went to get a glass of wine.
Probably.
Cousin Kyle's probably chasing thieves away from his property.
Third on first. 1 out. Ride the batter. Low and away. Ball
we thank them for joining us for sure.
Definitely.
Even if it's to say hi.
Yeah.
Fly ball. Dropping fast in short center. Another blooper.
Jeez, it feels like every hit is either a home run or a blooper.
Mm-hmm.
So Boone scores. Bird goes to second. With one away, Bo is the batter now. And the score is now Philadelphia 9, the Cubs 6. There it is, the blooper hit.
Hey, Alex, Rhea Ripley's going wrestling.
Is she now?
Yep. They're gonna face Jake.
One of those
What's her
days,
name?
huh? Not exactly a connoisseur.
Jade
delight,
Cargill.
but sure
Oh.
a lot of action. Okay, Boa at bat, 2 on, 1 out.
I don't remember Boa being so hunched over.
Gonna bring one in, it looks like. Nope, Lamar holds up.
See how he choked up on the bat?
That loads the bases for Pete Rose.
Now, Pete Rose is coming up with the bases loaded, 1 out. This is his first season with the Phillies when he signed a big contract. Listen to the boos.
Right on second, Boa on first, and Pete Rose the batter. Here's Pete.
It was all because he took the money. Of course, money is what would lead to his banishment.
Said before the ball game. Sam's over there,
Or gambling.
who me, when my name comes up.
Gambling, money, same thing.
Who me because they thought I wanted too much money and left because of money. Then they turned around and give Foster the money. Gave him $750 and they could have me for $450. There's a fly ball left center. Look out. That's going to wipe the bases clean. One run is in. Bird is in. Here comes McBride. Boa decides to hold up at third as Rose doubles. And we've got ourselves a real marathon today. Now with men on second and third and one away. Mike Schmidt is up. Mike
So far there's been
At the score of the ball game,
4 home runs?
Philadelphia 11.
Yes.
3.
Um,
But there's been a lot
4.
of hits.
Yeah, a lot of hits.
And anticipating a pinch hitter for Moore, or whoever might be pitching when the Cubs come to bat. Bittner's going down to the bullpen to loosen up a little bit.
Said another pitcher.
In the meantime, Herman's out there.
Just the third pitcher now?
Being called in.
Yeah,
In 3 innings.
yeah. Willie Hernandez.
And what's the score?
I believe it is.
There's Mike.
I think either.
On second and third.
I believe it's 11-6.
Put him on. And pitch to Hutzer. But it's 1 for 2. Ball
Yep.
2. 3 and 4 coming up.
Hey, Lace. Can you bring me my charger?
All right, here's Dell. The bases are full. Boa, Rose,
2
Smith,
outs?
third, second, first.
Um,
And that's a little low.
I
That's
b-
ball 1.
no, I believe there's. No,
Phillies 11,
I believe there's only.
6.
I believe there's 1 out.
Ball 2, 2-0. Well, this reminds you of one of those kid games. You know, the second street Tigers against the third street Wildcats.
next one over.
What's the score, Sonny? Well, it's 38-0 against, but we haven't batted yet. There's a high fly ball. It's foul down the left field side. Ball 2, strike 1.
You're welcome.
Ball 2, strike 1. Kingman, Martindale on left, center, and right, playing in the swing lane. There's a foul ball. Swing late on that one. Oliveris, De Jesus, Sizemore, Buckner, the infield third, the first, the battery, Hernandez, Barry Foote. There's the tap down the first base side, and that will be 1 run in, and another assisted put out by Buckner.
Even the outs are
The
productive.
dribbler down the first base side. Bill Unser bats 1 in. Larry Paul crossing the plate. So Pete Rose is now on third. Mike Schmidt is on second. And Gary Maddox is the batter. Score now 12-6, Philadelphia. Runners on second and third. That's a high fly to left. That's pretty deep back there. That's going back. The wind's got it. Back she goes. Home run.
The wind blew it over again.
Oh boy, the 17-mile-an-hour wind hit it for Maddox, and that's his second home run in 2 days. So now 3 more come in.
Wow, so they have
Shaking hands with
a
him.
7-run inning and an 8-run inning
Schmidt shaking hands with
in the
him.
first 3.
Mm-hmm.
So as much as this game's a 9-inning game, they scored 15 of the 23 runs in the first 3
Maddox
innings.
has a double and a home run in this inning. So now the score of the ball game is Philadelphia 15, the Cubs 6. Well, it was 7-0 in the first inning. Then the Cubs got back 6.
Did he get hit?
Yeah, he did.
Is on first base. I guess Hernandez clocked him. Take a look at it again. Well, probably to nobody's great surprise, Hernandez hits Boone. That'll bring up Mioli. 2 out, man on base. So the 7-run inning didn't appear big enough to Philadelphia to be safe. So they thought they better go out and get 8 more, which they have done. Fastball strike. Strike 1. Home runs in this ball game. Schmidt with 2 on the first. Boone with 2 on the first. Lurch with nobody on in the first. Maddox with 2 on here in the third. So the Cubs Kingman with 2 on in the first. Wild and Woolly Pierce 6 brawl today. And this ball game is only in the third inning.
15-6, 2 outs, third.
Mm-hmm.
What a game.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you were a Cub fan right now, you'd be really pissed.
Exactly. They'll feel much better later on in this game.
Don't know much about the Cub pitchers.
Well, this is Willie Hernandez.
Didn't he pitch for Detroit?
Yeah, he did.
Mioli comes up with a hit. And now here comes the pitcher batting for the second time in the inning, Doug Bird.
He walked the last time.
That's right.
Well, the last time they walked him and paid dearly for it. Foul ball.
So, Alex, why'd you pick this game?
Well, for quite a few reasons. Number one, it's number 20 on the all MLB's 20 greatest games, and you know, once you look at this game and you'll see the final score, you can see that I picked this game for a lot of great reasons. Mm-hmm.
In the inning, 8 runs.
He's counting the hits on his scorecard.
Nobody left. And so, as we go now to the Cub half of number 3, it's Philadelphia 15, the Cubs 6.
Okay, now I'm gonna pause it, and while nothing much happened in the bottom of the third, neither team was gonna completely burn out their bullpen for this one. So because of that, Willie Hernandez gets a chance to bat, and that's why I have to show you this.
In the bottom of the third?
Bottom of the third, yeah.
So a relief pitcher.
Yeah.
Now up.
Yeah.
In the third inning, no less.
Yeah.
And a runner on base.
Uh-huh.
Strike one. Strike. 0-2.
You see that, Mom?
It's the swing of the day.
He fell flat on his face. Didn't he strike out?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
The umpire hasn't even realized he's actually completed the swing.
I guess he tried to strike his swing or something, yeah.
He struck out anyway.
Strikes out.
So he should have struck out on the last pitch.
It was such a bad swing, he wasn't even called out.
Legs are not hurt, Willie, at least. And at the end of 3, the score of the ball game, Philadelphia, 15, the Cubs 6.
Yeah. Okay, now, even though I see the first batter, we're going to skip ahead after Bake McBride flies out to start the inning. Larry Boas, the batter.
Fourth inning?
Yes. 15-6 Phillies.
Very high foul on a play. Strike one. Pirates come into town tomorrow for a weekend series after that the Cubs take to the road. And they'll be invading the East for the first time this year. New York, Philadelphia, and Pittsburgh. Foul ball. 0-2.
Awful year for the Mets that year.
Yeah.
That's a ball. And Nandy's thought he had it in there.
I think I mentioned this in the last podcast.
Ball one, strike two.
M. Donald Grant was running the ball club at the time, and you know what they called Shea Stadium during that time? Grant's Tomb.
That's foul ball. 1-2. 14 hits for the Phillies, 10 for the Cubs. 21 runs have been scored, 15 of them by the Philadelphia Phillies.
Did the Cubs ever take the lead in this game?
No.
So they're always fighting back whenever. He got booed everywhere he went after that.
Well, after he took the money and went to the Phillies?
He was still on the Reds for the long hitting streak or the Phillies?
What, for the 44 game hitting streak?
Yeah.
I believe he was with the Reds.
What year was it?
I can't remember. I'm thinking maybe I'd have to look again.
I think it was in the early 80s, so I have a feeling that he was a Philly.
It was in 78. That was when he was still with the Reds.
So that was the year before this.
Mm-hmm.
And guess where he broke the National League record? Tommy Holmes' record. He did it against the Mets. At Shea. One of the few times Met fans ever gave him a standing ovation.
Yeah. Didn't the Mets fans boo him after his fight with Buddy Harrelson?
Yep.
Matter of fact, they threw cups and cans at him. They had to stop the game because of that.
Give up so many runs and then keep just adding more and more runners on the bases. Instead of just, I mean, I know he's a Hall of Famer to be, but I'm not just trying to get outs on the baseball.
We're only in the fourth inning of the ball game. Dell Enser is now due up.
And I believe Unser played for the Expos as well. But I don't know if he played for the Expos and then went to the Phillies, or after he went from the Mets and went to the Expos.
You have to wonder if somebody's not catching the signs and tipping the hitters.
It's right here. He went to the Phillies, then the Mets, then the Expos, and the Phillies again.
Who did the Mets get in return for him?
Says here,
Wasn't Huey Brooks, was it?
says right here, Unser was dealt along with John Stearns and Mike Scars from the Phillies to the Mets for Tug McGraw, Don Hahn, and Dave Schneck.
And then when he went from the Mets to the Expos, who did the Mets get in return?
Well, of course, sign stealing is a very respected art.
It doesn't say who he was traded for when the Mets traded him to the Expos.
So just Google who did the Mets get
Maybe Hernandez might be tipping
from the Expos
That's
for.
ground ball, side ball to the Jesus, and the throw to first.
You saw him.
Yeah, he messed up.
Yeah, you saw him double clutch and couldn't get the ball out of his glove. That cost him a double play.
Goes to third. So Unser's on base on
We'll
a
see if
fielding
it costs him
choice.
one now.
Smith is fourth. And Rose takes third. Now with men on first and third, Maddox is the batter.
I definitely was safe.
That's a little low, and however, the umpire at first base says he took the swing, so that's strike one. Maddox hit a home run the last time up. Hit a homer and a double in the same inning, and he's going to get himself another double right here, maybe three.
Says Pepe Mangol and Jim Dwyer.
It's another double by Maddox, and Unser stops at third. Another run across them.
I remember Pepe was a very popular player for the Expos.
With his
Yeah.
fourth hit in this ballgame. Single, two doubles, and a home run. He may have hurt himself sliding into second on that one. Jerry Martin firing in. And now the score of the ballgame is Philadelphia 17, the Chicago Cubs 6.
Wow, 17-6.
Yeah. Now, Gary Maddox hurt himself sliding into second base, and Greg Gross has to run for him. Maddox leaves this game 4 for 4. A home run, 2 doubles, and a single. Just a triple shy of the cycle. He could have hit for the cycle in this one. So, Greg Gross goes in to run for him. And the next batter, I believe, is Bob Boone, and I believe they're going to intentionally walk him
He'll play center field, no doubt.
to leave it up to Rudy Maioli. Yeah, they're going to put him on to pitch to Maioli.
Runners on second and third, 2 out. And now the batter is catcher Bob Boone. They're going to put him on and pitch to Rudy Maioli.
Again, this is the second and third intentional walk, plus they walk the pitcher. Bad, putting more and more runners on base in a game that
But they're going to play the percentage.
He's getting out of hand.
Well, Maddox winds up his day with
Barry
a single,
Foote, the
2
catcher for the
doubles,
Cubs,
and 3
gotta be
run homer,
tired
5 runs batted in.
already.
He must be.
And this is only the
Still got
fourth.
plenty of time.
Yes.
I'm getting tired.
Yeah.
Afternoon nap before dinner. The only pitcher who hasn't been hit here today is Ray Meyer. Who threw 3 pitches in the DePaul part of the ceremony prior to the game, as the Cubs honored DePaul University and their great basketball.
Two men on, or the bases loaded.
Ray Meyer
I believe there are...
couple over the Hall of
The
Fame.
bases are loaded, I believe.
Catcher was John McClendon. And the umpire, of course, was Jim Enright. Meyer threw that first pitch and really loosened him up. Way over
Here
everybody's
comes the
head.
fire department in Chicago trying to put out the
Don't
game.
take a toll on me. Then he started a 0 in. The next thing you know, he threw one that McClendon could catch. That was a ground ball to Jesus over to second. What do you know? They finally retired the side.
Mock cheers from the Wrigley faithful.
Sidemore. That takes care of that. But in the inning, a couple more runs for the Phillies. On 3 hits, no errors, and a couple left. And so now the ball game is going to the Cub half of number 4. Top of the batting order up.
Say hi to
And then Dale, and then
former neighbor Jackie.
Hi, Jackie.
The Phillies 17, the Cubs 6.
Okay, so even though I watched the first few batters of the bottom of the 4th, we're going to move ahead with a runner on first and 2 outs. Dave Kingman is coming up.
Well, the first
Fourth inning or fifth inning?
Fourth.
How many outs?
2 outs. Runner on first.
17 to 6.
17 to 6.
For now.
Yeah.
Might even take the lead in the second inning when the first 2 men up got on first and third and nobody out. But then Kingman hit a double play ball without anybody scoring, and Oliveras went out, and that was that. And
He called a check swing strike and he's pissed.
right now, Dick Cavanaugh.
Instead of just having to ask the first base umpire.
Called a strike. Said that he went around. Ball 1, strike 1. High over his head. Ball 2, strike 1. Foul ball. 2 and 2. Ball 2, strike 2. Philadelphia 17, the Cubs 6. Full count now, 3 and 2. Foul ball. Still 3 and 2. Dave Kingman with his second home run and his 11th of the year. There she goes. Man alive, there's a high foul ball now by Oliveras on a play, strike 1. So now the score of the ball game is 17 to 8. Only 9 to go, fellas. Let's get moving. The way this one's going, you can do it. Ball 1, strike 1. Oliveras.
So Kingman has 5 RBIs so far. The first home run was a 3-run home run.
That's correct.
Ball 1, strike 1. There's a high foul ball. That's outplay. The catcher, Bob Boone, never did see that one. He was looking all over the place. He went back to the
See, one of the ways, Alex, in the future for your podcast to cut down on time is this part. Like, we don't need to see foul balls or balls and stuff. Like, you could have just gone maybe to, like...
That's pretty well there. Way back there. Back. Hey! A home run for
Hey! So you could have gone right to the pitch right before you hit the home run and set it up yourself, saying, this is the count.
That's right.
Same thing with Kingman's home run right before. You could have said it's a 3-2 count. And just made commentary like Kingman had fouled off a couple of pitches. He argued on a check swing, and then we got so that way. It's a lot of dead air in there.
Right.
That's strike one.
I just want to know. I know what Mom is doing. I just wonder what Uncle Greg's doing.
He was probably doing stuff and coming in and out.
That's a ball. Ball one, strike one.
Not to show support.
1-1.
It's hard to stay for the full game.
I understand. Yeah. So we're now going to move ahead again to, I believe, the top of the fifth, and Greg Lazinski came in to bat for the pitcher, I believe. He walked, and the guy who's going to pinch run for him is Nino Espinosa, a pitcher.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember Nino Espinosa with the big afro.
Bob Costas said he looked like Link from Mod Squad.
And he was a good pitcher.
Yeah? Okay, now. By the way, I just remembered. Kingman was so much like the hitters we have today. I mean, he hit a lot of home runs and struck out a lot. His strikeout total was so embarrassing back then, but everyone does it now.
Yeah.
Despite that, you didn't want to miss Kingman's at bat. He might strike out, but he might hit one a long way. So, we're now moving
His
forward.
home runs were... There was not any cheap home runs by David Kingman.
That's correct.
Is going to run. Espinosa is
This is Lou Boudreau now.
Lazinski, and here's McBride at bat, 2 for 3.
Is he a Cub broadcaster still?
Yes.
Seems like this day at Wrigley Field has been a week long. It's not fun when the opposition is scoring so many runs. It's a lot of fun when your friends in the white uniforms are running around the bases. First pitch is a ball to McBride. Swing, ground ball, base hit. Into right field, Espinosa will stop at second base.
Not exciting too much.
Hit for Philadelphia. McBride now 3 for 4. Let me tell you, those batting
Somebody, I
averages
think,
will shoot up today.
did somebody say, Uncle Greg say something?
Yeah, he says he's got to go.
Second, nobody out.
He'll watch the count. He'll catch the rest in the replay.
You said great opening inning or
Doubled in the
something.
first inning. He singled in the third.
He said, great job as
In the
usual.
fourth. Then on first and second.
Watch this. I believe this is when it happens.
Popped up. It could be trouble. Over Buckner's head. The wind carries it in play. It drops. In front of Bale. Bounces away from
Jeez, so that ball, which looked like it was going to be foul, the wind made it go from right to left.
Yeah. You'll see Buckner head toward foul territory, but then it carries it back in play. And if you look in the bullpen, look who's in the bullpen.
Is that Tug?
Yeah.
Tug looked raw.
Warming up in the 5th inning.
In 10 and 9, we haven't gone through half the game yet.
Yeah, I know.
Nobody out. As Bill Caudell starts throwing in the Cubs bullpen. Strike call on Pete. This game has a very fine chance of breaking records insofar as base hits by 2 ball clubs.
Are you still with us, Mom?
They may break the record with base hits for 1 ball club.
I am.
Okay. Just checking.
I'm here, Bubba.
Scoring runs by 1 ball club or by 2 ball clubs. Swing ground ball and it's left to the shortstop. Jesus bobbles it.
Oh, jeez.
Rose is safe on the air by the Jesus. And McBride scores.
Did you by chance?
High bounding ball. The Jesus knows that he has to hurry because he had to back up on the ball. And trying to get it out of his glove quickly, dropped it. And then dropped it again.
Okay. Now, I usually watch this, and I was going to show it, but I realized because of the 9 pitch at bat, I'm just going to fast forward.
Good decision.
Yeah. Okay, now, I just took off like 4 minutes.
Bases are loaded, nobody out.
After Mike Schmidt walks, Delunser is the batter.
Rourke is coming out to have a chat
So that's what you do.
with
You
Van Davis.
update everybody on what's happened that you're not showing leading to what
In
you're
the
showing.
5th inning, Phillies sent 10 men to the plate in the first. 13 men to the plate in the third when they scored 8
So when
runs.
you're doing your research on these games, you still look at everything so you can write down what
Here's our
has
second
happened
batter. He has one.
that you're not going to show so you can tell people in the
This is the third
podcast.
time in this ballgame that Unser has been batting with the bases filled.
What was that point he just made? This is the 3rd time he's up with the bases loaded?
I believe so, yes.
Because they kept intentionally walking.
Yeah.
Mike Schmidt.
Well, you're not going to let Schmidt beat you.
With the bases loaded. Fly ball, center field. Martin is there. Boa tagging up at third. Here comes Rose to third. The tag by Oliveras is missed. As Rose gets up and claps his hands because he made a fadeaway slide and Oliveras dove for him but missed the tag. Here's the tag up after this line drive to Martin in center field. Martin concedes Boa. That's Boa scoring. But here's the play at third. As Oliveras dives and just misses him, and the umpire was right over the play. So credit to third base umpire being right over the play so he could see whether Rose was tagged or not. Sacrifice fly by Unser. Scores Boa with a 20th run. Here's a tap foul.
Wow, half the game and they scored 20 of the 23 runs.
Gross, who replaced Maddox. And Maddox hurt himself sliding into second base for his second double of the day. Maddox leading this ball game 4 for 4. Curveball, swing, fly ball, deep left field. Kingman going back on the warning track, reaches up and makes the catch. Here comes Rose in the score. And there goes Mike Smith tagging up and going to second base. 21.
wonder what the record is. What's the highest scoring?
Here's Boone at bat.
What's the most runs scored by one team in one 9-inning game?
Most runs scored.
By an MLB team
6 men, 4 of them
in a 9-inning game.
intentionally.
By one team in a 9-inning game.
That'll be
36 by the Colts, who would later become the Cubs against the Louisville Colonels in 1897. 36.
in the record book. The National League record for most runs in one game
Huh?
by one club is 28.
Oh,
The
28.
1929 Cardinals.
Ah.
The Major League record is held by the Chicago White Sox in 1955 and Boston in 1950. 29 runs.
Jeez.
First pitch to Meoli, strike call. Phillies have batted around once again. Curveball high. 1-1 to come. Rudy Meoli has 1 for 4 thus far. This is his 5th time at the plate. Everyone in the Philadelphia lineup has at least one base hit. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Most home runs by 2 clubs in one game is 11. There have been 7 thus far today, and we're in the 5th inning. Low into the dirt. So records, insofar as baseball are in jeopardy today.
Justin Hernandez?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Cleveland defeated Toronto 8-3 today. 2-2 the count on Rudy Meoli. Stay with us. Anything can happen. It has happened. Or it will happen. Phil Knupp.
Your drone has had a premonition
Yeah.
saying, stay with us because you never know what could happen.
Yeah.
If he reaches base, we'll have another pinch hitter, as Lozinski pinched hit to open up the inning and walked, and was removed from the ball game for a runner. So let's get Meoli out. Here's the 3-2 pitch. 2 outs. The runners are on their way. High ball 4.
The Bluebirds.
Espinosa's going to bat.
Why not?
He was the pitch runner for Lozinski, so now he gets a time at bat with the bases loaded and 2 outs. 4 runs in. 10th man to bat here in the inning. Swing a ground ball to Sizemore. He bobbles it, picks it up, throws to first, and we're out of the inning.
See, that inning we didn't need to, that at bat we didn't need to see. So you could have just said, well, to finish the inning, Espinosa, the pitcher, grounded out.
One error in the inning.
Stuff to learn.
3
Yeah.
men left on base. Cubs come to bat in the 5th inning. Philadelphia, when I get the computer out, 21. Cubs 9.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, I usually watch the first few batters of this coming inning, but here's the thing. Now, I'm going to skip ahead, and the Cubs have already scored on a bases loaded walk to make it 21-10. The bases are still loaded for Bill Buckner.
Cool.
And Tug McGraw is in the game. And Larry Bowa said that Tug McGraw hated pitching at Wrigley Field. No, Larry said that whenever the Phillies got to Chicago, Tug always said, "See you guys in 3 days. Offense take over because I don't want any part of this ballpark." You know, as many of you know, Tug McGraw was so funny. You know, he was just one of those guys that always had such a big smile on his face. And, you know, when asked about his World Series share in either 69 or 73, he said, "Most of it I spent on wine, women, and song, and the rest I wasted." I was only 7.5 when he died of brain cancer in early 2004, but I've studied so much about him. The story of the 73 Mets, you gotta believe, all the long, hard work he did in closing out games. I've studied enough to know that he was an awesome man, but he just hated Wrigley Field.
It's funny that you said wine, women, and song when his son is,
You know,
famous country singer.
yeah. Ironic.
And his granddaughter.
Yeah.
Isn't Miley Cyrus the granddaughter?
No, I don't think
No,
so.
not Billy Ray. That's Billy Ray Cyrus. Who's his granddaughter?
Watch as he's coming around second base. He said, "I don't think you do have enough." Yeah. They kept saying, you know, "We got enough, we got enough, we got enough." And then Buckner said to Larry Boa, "I don't think you do have enough." You know, for years, Tim McGraw had no idea Tug was his father.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
By Buckner, his second of his career. And it's the second Cup Grand Slam of this series.
But did he always have the McGraw last name?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wowee.
It's high, 4-1. Now, there has been 8 home runs hit in this ball game. Don't go away.
Yeah, you might miss something.
Taps his bat. He couldn't hold back on that pitch, and it's 1-1.
So now it's 21-13.
21-14.
A grand slam. Nobody has left this ballpark. I'll tell you. We're only in the 5th inning. Well, Kingman gets
Faith Hill is Tug's
What
daughter-in-law.
happened to that when he jumped at it, wanting to hit it out of this ballpark? The last time Kingman hit 3 home runs in one ball game was in L.A. Remember that? And one, in this reporter's opinion, left the ballpark at L.A. So there's relief. 1-2 pitch. Low. 2-2, and Kingman is concentrating now on making McGraw throw a strike. 5 runs in, 1 out. He threw that screwball and it landed about 12 feet in front of the plate. He didn't want to throw that pitch to Kingman. If he did, that's exactly what he was going to do with it. The count now is 3-2.
It's amazing the different strategies here. I mean, the Phillies are way ahead, so you don't want extra runners on base, but
Fouls it out of play.
the way the Cubs intentionally walked Mike Schmidt twice
So
and Dave Kingman, who has hit 2 home runs, the Cubs have
I
not.
know what you're saying.
But I mean, they're up by a lot. They don't want to put runners on base.
21-14.
Besides,
And it's not
as
fair
much as
in the league either.
Dave Kingman knew how to hit home runs a long way, he would also strike out a lot, as we mentioned earlier.
Yep, good point.
Popped out of play. Kingman is not taking anything close to that plate. If he can see the ball, he's going to swing at it.
There's no doubt about that.
Philadelphia 21 runs, 19 hits. The Cubs
Okay, so after Stevan Averis strikes out, Jerry Martin is the batter.
With 1 run on, with Kingman out, right?
That's right.
Swing and a foul in the upper deck. Two outs now in the 5th inning. 5 runs in for the Cubs. The score, Philadelphia 21, Cubs 14, and I'm not kidding. If you've just joined us. And if you've just joined us, you've got a game left to watch. We're only in the 5th inning. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. As Martin jumped at that ball. High, outside, 2-2. Will Caudell will be the new Cub pitcher. You're watching Cubs baseball on WGN Television 9, Chicago.
It's considered what was called a superstation
Yeah,
back then.
that's right.
WGN.
High fly ball deep to center field. It's going, and you can kiss it goodbye. Terry Martin with a 2-run home run. His 3rd of the season. His 16th and 17th RBIs. 7 runs here in the 5th inning. It's now 21 to 16. You gotta be kidding. I'm not kidding. He hit this one practically the same spot in the 4th inning, but this one was over to the left in the bleachers, and it just hits into the corner about 2 rows up.
Okay, so even though I watched the rest of this inning and the rest of the, I believe, 6th inning, astonishingly, the Cubs don't score again in this inning, and the Phillies don't score again in their next inning, in the top of the 6th. So we now move ahead to the bottom of the 6th, and there were quite a few defensive changes, actually. In the bottom of the 5th, before Buckner hit the grand slam, Steve Dillard came in to bat for Willie Hernandez, and then as part of a double switch, Dillard came in to replace Ted Sizemore at second base. So now with Dillard staying in the game at second base, he now leads off the bottom of the 6th.
Sportmart, 10,000-meter run in Schaumburg, Sunday, June 3rd. So register now at Sportmart in Niles and in Lombard for the Schaumburg Park District. First pitch to Dillard, swinging a high chopping ball, deep short. Boa has it, fires to first, but Dillard beats it out.
That was a tough play. I think Boa was playing a little too deep.
Yeah.
Cubs' 18th hit. When this ball bounced over Smith's head, it was going to be a very difficult play.
It's a little bit of a Baltimore chop. So
Takes it on the outfield grass. Couldn't get any velocity at all on his throw.
Bowen never had the strongest arm.
He wasn't Derek Jeter.
1 for 2 today.
Solid shortstop just now.
Yeah.
One hit deep to center field. It's over Gross's head, going deep. It's against the wall. Dillard ground second, will go to third, and De Jesus holds up at second. That ball found Gross playing shallow, and especially with the wind blowing out. He knows better than that. It was a line drive, so he didn't have time enough to back up and get under. There's Gross going back as fast as he can, but the line drive is over his head. You see, had that ball been hit higher up in the air, he could have motored under it and made the catch. Now, runners on second and third, nobody out, and here's Vail. Cubs trailed by 5. Swing and a miss. And this
Big
fella
swing.
Yeah, it
starts
was.
swinging, and he leaves the breakfast table in the morning to come out to the ballpark. Thompson foul as Reed really sidearmed Vail that time. Buckner's due up next. In the 5th inning, he hit a grand slammer. He singled in the 1st and the 2nd. Vail, who's up at the plate now, has 3 for 4. Low. Ball 1, strike 2. We still have a lot of action coming by the men in white. 6th inning. Pick up those 2 runners on the base paths. Into the dirt, but Boone does a very fine job in blocking it, backhanding that ball to prevent the runners from advancing. Vail wants him to look at that baseball. The count is 2-2. Cub fans talking it up, cheering their idols on. They never give up. 3-2 the Cubs. Ground ball, the ball. Runner's going to score. Boa goes to first. Dillard scores. De Jesus advances to third. So credit Vail with his 6th RBI. Now we're only down by 4. There's the scoreboard. You can't get bingo out of that. Look at those numbers.
Yeah. Look at that.
21 to 17. Here's Buckner at bat. Low, 0-1. Kingman due up next. Smith is playing even with the bag at third. Ground ball to any other infielder except the pitcher. De Jesus should score. Ground ball foul into the bullpen down the right field line. Still in this ball game. It's Philadelphia 21, Cubs 17, or Phillies 4, Cubs nothing. And the Cubs have a runner up third. You take it any way you want to. Low almost hit Buck, and he had to jump over that fastball. Ball 2, strike 1. White Sox 2, Oakland nothing at the end of 3. At Oakland. Cleveland defeated Toronto 8-3. Montreal 2, St. Louis 2, a suspended game. High, ball 3, strike 1. And the big man leaving in the on-deck circle. Fouled out of play. Buck going after that 3-1 pitch, wanting to pick up that runner. It's now 3-2. Taps the ball over the pitcher's head. De Jesus will score. Ball is thrown to first. Gets Buck going down the line very fast, but the run scores. So now it's 21-18. Watch Buckner. Buck going to take that pitch. It's close to the strike zone. Throws his bat at the ball and tops over the pitcher's head. And here's a standing ovation for number 10, Kingman, and also for Buckner coming back to the dugout.
Here it comes, Mom.
That's 5 RBIs for Buckner. He ties Kingman at the present time. Hey, kiss him goodbye. It is gone. Oh, I thought he hit the other one hard. That one's in Milwaukee. That's
Okay, running. Did you see them?
Yeah.
Running on the street to get the ball.
Yeah.
across Wayland Avenue. Man, oh man. Isn't that something?
You know, on that ball by DeJesus, I think the wind blew it over his head, over Greg Gross's head.
And let me tell you, it's now 21-19. And I'm losing my voice. Here's Altaveras. Strike call. Holy mackerel.
Do you see that, Mom?
That one was tagged. No doubt about it.
She said,
Oh, a swing and a miss by Altaveras. Here's the home run. First pitch.
BAM!
Now watch the White House. behind
Watch the
wall,
people
ball
on the
come
street.
down.
And watch the kid running down from the porch.
Yep.
Right there, it bounced. There's the youngster running down from the porch. Here's the swing and a tap for the pitcher, and Altaveras is thrown out.
Oh, Pete Rose slammed
The
the.
crowd loves
Yeah.
it. Ray Meyer asked Kingman before the game to hit one for the Nepal team, which was honored here in pregame ceremony. He has hit 3. Now
Kingman hit home runs in 25 different ballparks. As you can see, it cleared Wayland Avenue.
Now watch the youngster on the porch. On the porch, that house is the 4th house from Wayland Avenue. It bounced in the yard or on the porch of the 3rd house, and where that youngster is the 4th house across Wayland Avenue. It is now 21-19 in favor of Philadelphia, and if Brickhouse can't score 3 runs, I don't know who can. Well, ladies and
Jack
gentlemen,
Brickhouse is
we're going on
back.
to the 7th inning of this ballgame. Jack Brickhouse back with you once again. 21-19, the Phillies over the Cubs at this point. Greg Gross the batter. And Caudill throws one outside. Ball 2. Well, let's just pretend it's 2-0 and go after him.
Yeah.
Ball 2, no strikes to Greg. That's a strike. Well, Dave Kingman was telling us before the ball game that he has a young friend at Martha Washington Hospital, Johnny Gibson Jr. He said he'd hit one for him today. He really did, didn't he? Ball 2, strike 2. 2-2. There's a high foul. Out of play.
Did Schmidt have a home run in this game?
Yeah, he hit one in the first
inning.
inning.
Each
And
team
they
with
intentionally
20
walked
hits.
him after that.
That's too high. That's ball 3, strike 2.
Each team with 20 hits.
Well, it all started
After
in the
6
first
innings.
inning with
Yeah.
Philadelphia's 7 runs. There's a well-hit ball left center. That's way back there. It is over Martin's head. He really went into the wall on that one. Here goes Gross around second, headed for third, and he is safe. It's a triple off the left center field wall by Greg Gross, and I want to tell you something. Jerry Martin really gave it the big try out there. It was a 3-2 pitch. And there's the drive to left center, and here's Jerry Martin. Deep as he has been much of the afternoon, and look at him go into that wall. In the meantime, it takes the angle bounce, and now there's a man on third, nobody out, and Bob Boone, the catcher, is up. 6 home runs by the Cubs represent the most ever hit in one game against
This is
the
your
Phillies.
6th podcast on it?
Let's see, 60, 69, 75, 76, 77, 78. Actually, I think this is my 7th.
Here's the catcher, Bob Boone. right center, look out. That's going to bring in another run. And Boone is going to wind up on second base. Now, come on. Let's don't come this close and then give him that big lead again. Ray Burris is up in the Cub bullpen.
Ray Burris.
And the score now is 22 to 19. Rudy Meoli is up. Well, you know, the wildest game ever played, the wildest slugfest ever, was between these same two ball clubs back in August of 1922 when the Cubs beat the Phillies 26 to 23.
So even though I watched the rest of this inning and I watch the bottom of the seventh and the top of the eighth, remarkably, neither team scores in that time. In any case, it's 22 to 19, so we're going to move ahead to the bottom of the eighth with Ivan DeJesus leading off. Oh, and another defensive change for the Cubs. Mick Keller came in to play second base after Larry Bittner came in to hit for Steve Dillard in the bottom of the seventh.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we go now to the Cub half of number 8. Wouldn't it be something if the Cubs didn't have to bat in the 9th inning of this marathon? Ball one now to DeJesus. The Cubs need 3 to get back in the ball. Ron Reed, the pitcher. Ground ball. Backhand stop. It's going to be close. He's got it.
He doesn't have an arm.
It's in. Larry Moore
Deep
into
in
the
the
big
hole.
drive.
It's got good range, but
I bet you Derek Jeter gets him out.
But DeJesus is the one guy who can beat that one out.
Yeah, the momentum was carrying him towards left field, and you know, even if he didn't stop and plant, you know, he probably wouldn't have gotten him.
it just wasn't hit hard enough in the hole.
325 hitter.
So the tying run is on deck.
That's correct.
Scott has 13 hits this year, 4 doubles, the rest singles. He's followed in the batting order by Buckner, who was followed by Kingman. And all Kingman has today is 3 home runs.
That's all.
Here we go.
Yeah.
That's a strike. Well, Mike Smith got 4 in one ball game against the Cubs here one day. Maybe it's time to pay him back for that one. Strike one. Oh, head motion. Look out. Get back there, Yvonne. Bob Boone firing to first to Rose, and it was close. Thompson tried to bunt the ball, missed it. There's the replay. And so it's 0-2 now.
And Uncle Doug had sent me a text saying he couldn't make it tonight. So.
That's okay.
6 foot 6 inch, 225-pound Ron Reed. He's been a real standout in the bullpen for this ball club for quite a while now. Trying for a save. 0-2. That's the ball. Ball 1, strike 2. DeJesus on base. Nobody out. Ball 1, strike 2. Foul ball. He turned on that one. I'm going to tell you something. Had he managed to make that one fair, he could have had 2 or 3 bases because they're playing him to swing late. Hunter, Gross, and McBride are all swung around there, and consequently, McBride is leaving a lot of space between himself and the foul line in right field. There's a big gap there. Ball 1, strike 2. Foul ball again. Ball 1, strike 2. Scott Thompson trying to get on. If he does, with a base hit here, that would make Buckner the tying run as he steps in. It would make Kingman then the lead run if Buckner scored. one, strike two. Low and away with his fastball. He poured a lot of coal on that one. 2-2. The Cubs are 2 base hits away from being back in this ball game. It's 22-19. Man on base. Thompson at bat. Nobody out.
22-19,
That's the ball. Full count now.
It's more like a football score.
As the rookie looks it over. Ordinarily in a spot like that, when the pitch is that close to the plate, you might expect that kid to take a swing. Ball 3, strike 2. There's a pretty low hit ball to right field. And Hudson is held to a single that landed on the fly against the wall. Nate McBride took a couple of steps back, realized he had no chance, decided to play it off the wall. He did a very, very intelligent thing. He handled it beautifully. Now there come runners on first and third. See Bake here? Now here he is, playing it off the wall. And Jesus was also decoying a little on that one because McBride stopped. And when he stopped, Jesus watching him had to wonder if maybe McBride was not in a position to catch the ball, in which case, of course, Yvonne had to be ready to scamper back to first. All right, here's Buckner. He is the tying run. There's a well-hit ball, center field, dropping in, base hit. And the Cubs have a run.
See how that ball bounced?
Yeah.
It like hit a divot or something.
Yeah.
So Kingman is up as the go-ahead run.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry, but they skip over Kingman's at bat. But I'll just mention this. After Dave Kingman flies out, Steve Olivares is the batter.
How many outs?
One, yes.
How much of the homers yelling, come on, Stevie.
He followed Kingman's in the 4th inning. Strike 1. The tying runs are on base, ladies and gentlemen. 22-20. There's a smash, a backhand drop by the second baseman.
That bobble cost them the double play.
However, to force Buckner. But it could have been one of two things. It could have been either a double play ball or a base hit the way it started out. They only moved over very well for it and did glove it, then dropped it. Had he gloved it cleanly, it could be a double play ball. See this? If he makes the fast throw to Boa.
And that was the exact same kind of play with Steve Dillard in the bottom of the 6th.
Thompson's now on third base. 2 out. And the batter is Jerry Martin. Well, I don't have to tell you that Jerry would like to make that trade pay off here. There's a ground ball up the middle. Base hit. Here comes the runner. Okay, Thompson's in. And the tying run is in scoring position. Jerry Martin has just signaled. Thompson across the plate. Moving Olivares to second. The score is now Philadelphia 22. The Chicago Cubs 21.
So, and the score at one time was 21-9, right? So they've outscored them 11-1
Yeah,
since that time.
that's right. I also forgot to mention, I believe Barry Foote was also a Philly, either before or after this game. I'm not sure which.
This guy hits one here. Strike 1. That's too close. Throw to first. The base runner at first is Jerry Martin. Steve Olivares is on second. He represents the tying run. The ball game is at the bottom of the 8th inning. 1-1. There's a ground ball. Bouncing into left field. Come on, Steve. Come on, Olivares. He won't score. It's a tying run.
Look at that.
The Phillies 22, the Chicago Cubs 22. Here's the run scoring as Berryfoot hits that ground single to left. And Oliveras races home with Joey Amalfitano almost throwing his right arm on a joint, waving him around.
Okay, so it's all tied at 22. Neither team scores in the ninth inning, which is almost impossible to believe. So we move ahead to the top of the 10th. With 2 outs, Mike Schmidt is the batter. And guess who's on the mound? One of the greatest closers ever, Bruce Sutter. He actually came in and pitched a scoreless ninth. This was the year he won the Cy Young. He won the NL Relief Man Award 4 times, led the league in saves 4 years in a row, 5 times overall. Second on the Cubs' all-time list in saves, and 4th on the Cardinals' all-time list in saves. Okay, now.
Left side of the infield very deep. Kelleher cheating a little bit towards second base. And that's ball 1, Mike.
So what you're telling us is that this matchup is Hall of Famer versus Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
He also walked 4 times, twice intentionally. Ball 1. That's a ball. 2-0. Ball 2, no strikes.
I didn't realize that this game went into extra innings. I thought it was decided in 9 innings.
That's right.
No strikes. That's a strike. Ball 2, strike 1. White Sox 5, Oakland 1. They're in the bottom of the 8th. That's a ball. Ball 3, strike 1. Montreal and St. Louis were suspended after extra innings today, 2-2. By previous arrangement. Ball 3, strike 1. We'll pick it up later. Out to the left. Very deep, of course. Here we go. Drive. Ball 3, strike 2. There was the shifting with that ball. Ball 3, strike 2. Here we go. Shake off the minute thing. There's a high fly to left. Look out now. Look out. It's gone.
Bookend homers
By Schmidt. Oh,
by
right.
Schmidt.
Mike Schmidt has just gotten his
First
first home
inning
run of the day,
and
now the
10th
Phillies lead
inning.
in this ball game by a score of 23-22. The 3-2 pitch, he was ready. Sutter laid it in there, and pow! Out of the ballpark, over the left center field wall. And that brings up Del Utzer. Here it is. And he's ready for it. Scott Thompson took about 4 steps out there in center field and then realized that was a gone goose.
It was. So with the score 23-22, we move ahead to the bottom of the 10th with Bill Buckner leading off.
All right, here comes Buckner now. The ball game is in the bottom of the 10th inning. The Cubs are trailing 23-22. And these fans out here refuse to give up. They're standing, a lot of them, and they're applauding as Buckner steps in. This game has already tied the record for the most home runs in a game by both ball clubs at 11. Home runs have been hit today. Schmidt has 2, Boone has 1, Lurch and Maddox for the Phillies. And for the Cubs, Kingman, Oliveras, Buckner, and Martin. All right, here's Buckner. He's had 4 hits, 3 singles, and the homer I just mentioned. And Ronnie Eastwick is the pitcher. And the Cubs need 1 to tie and 2
I remember him.
to win this
But I
game.
remember him more, I think, as a Red.
That's right.
Here we go. Strike, fastball, strike 1.
Either once or 2 years in a row, he led the league in saves.
Especially if you're the loser, has got to give a manager fits because there have to be 9,000 places you can look back and see where you could have won it. 2. There's a fly ball, left center field. Greg Gross is there. So is the left fielder. Upser, he's got it. And Buckner's out. That's one away. That leads it up to Kingman. Dave Kingman. All right, here's Dave. Dave Kingman, 3 home runs. Oh, man, if he could only make it 4. That's a fastball, strike 1. 1 out. 50 hits in the ball game. 51 is the record.
50
on these
hits.
same 2 teams. Strike 1. Foul ball. 0-2. Man, they're really looking for those superlatives over there in the press box. Those typewriters are flying. 0-2. There's a very high pop foul out of play. Still, strike 2.
Every time he had a ball in the air, it was towering. And he was so tall that you couldn't really throw a high fastball.
I know.
0-2. A no ball, strike 2 count. He switch sets. Here we go. Foul ball. Ooh, just got a little piece of it. Enough to stay alive. 0-2. Dave Kingman. No ball, strike 2 count.
How many home runs I wonder this kid
Here we
will hit
go.
this season?
I think it was
Roll under the changeup. Kingman strikes out.
Kingman goes down swinging. I think it was 48 in this
That year?
that
Going
year.
2 out now. Oliveras comes to bat in the bottom of the 10th inning. There's a check swing, fair ball, and that's it. The ball game is over. As Mike Schmidt throws out Oliveras on a check swing that rolls fair down the third base side. Oh boy.
Wow.
A pretty flat finish. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. And a very sad finish to one of the greatest games anybody has ever seen anywhere. So in the inning for the Cubs, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. One of the few times today that anybody went down in order. Eastwood, by the way, comes in and gets credit for a great save. He faced 6 Cubs and retired them all. Final score, Philadelphia 23 and the Chicago Cubs 22. I'll be back in a moment with a recap on the game.
Let's listen to Jack Brickhouse's recap on this
Yeah.
game. Yeah,
That's about the length of a game by itself.
yeah, I know.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if they continue to play games like this, I don't think anybody will be able to finish the season. The players or the fans or the broadcasters or anybody. Our hearts won't be able to take it. For Philadelphia, 23 runs on 24 hits. 2 errors and 14 men left on. Eastwood gets the win. He's 1-0.
Well, Jack Brickhouse can't believe it, and neither can we. Now, 97 total bases in this game. Can you believe that? Only one other game had more runs than this one. Cubs versus Phillies at Wrigley in 1922. The Cubs beat the Phillies in that one 26-23. Imagine that. Now let's take a look at what the starting lineup produced. Okay, now. Big McBride had 3 hits. Larry Bowa went 5 for 8. Pete Rose had 3 hits. Schmidt's only 2 hits in this game were both homers. Bob Boone went 3 for 4, and Randy Lurch went deep. On the Cubs side, Bill Buckner went 4 for 7, including a grand slam, 7 RBIs to be exact. All 3 of Kingman's hits were homers, and 6 RBIs. Wins or no wind, I'm telling you. The wind could have been blowing in as hard as it could. All 3, and it wouldn't have mattered. All 3 of those were home runs. I mean, he crushed all of them, especially the last one. Now, I just want to thank my dad as always, my mom, my Uncle Greg, my cousin Kyle,
And a lot of people
and a
on
lot
Facebook
and
Live.
everyone on Facebook Live, of course, and every no baseball fan that saw this game will ever forget it. Thank you very much for watching the Alex Estrada podcast. Check out all the other podcasts on my YouTube channel and my Facebook page. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the Alex Estrada podcast. Adios, everyone.